Okay, in this demo I'm going to show you how to put a little border around the name, and I'd like everyone to do this. We'll put a little 1/4 inch border running around the outside of the name, and depending on your images you can set the border color to something specific in the pick a color to use as the border color, or do it in black. I will tell you that black looks really good. Um, so the first thing we need to do is resize our entire image. And to do that, we go to the image menu and go down to image size, not canvas size, image size. And then we want to set the width to an even width. It'll just be easier to do, adjust, to add a 1/2 inch to the image. So where it says width, you want to set that either to the lower or higher number here. If it's closer to, for instance, this one's closer to 11 than it is to 10, so I'm going to change this one to 11. But everybody should leave the height at 3. Now we do want to turn off constrain proportions, because with that checked, if we change one, the other one changes proportionately. So we don't want that. So I'm going to reset, uncheck constrain proportions, and then either decrease or increase the width to the next whole number. So I'm going to go to 11 on this one. And then just click OK, and then your picture will shift and get just a little bit larger or smaller depending on which way you went. Okay, and then we want to change the canvas size. So go to Image, Canvas Size, and now we have those dimensions that we just added. And we want to, hopefully at this point, just use white as your background color, or as the canvas extension color, just leave it as white. And then add a 0.5 to the width and a 0.5 to the height. So we'll end up with, and then you want the anchor point in the middle, so just like it is. So basically we're adding a 1/2 inch all the way around. Click OK, and then the image will expand like that and have a nice color or white background, white border. Now if you want to change the color of the border, you want to click on the background layer over here on the layer palette. Click on background, and it should be just the solid white. If you can see, if I turn it off, it's transparent now. And then you want to fill that with the color. Now I'm going to use black, so I'm going to go edit, fill, and I want to choose black. So I got a nice black border. But let's say I wanted to do white. I undid that. Let's say I want to do a gray. We'll go to edit, fill, and I'm going to pick a gray from the image. You can see I got a dropper tool here. I'm just going to click out here in the image and pick a gray, and then I'm going to use foreground color as what I fill with, because that's what I just chose with the dropper tool. So I'm going to pick on this gray here next to the eye and click OK. So now I filled it with gray. So so do that. Add a border around your image. So that's a 1/4 inch border running around our name, and that would be done after everything's pretty much finished, and you're not going to do any more cropping or anything. Okay, so this currently is still a Photoshop file, and you don't want to save what you've done at that point. But when you're ready to turn it in and you're absolutely finished editing, you want to save as a JPEG. So Command Shift S on the keyboard, change the format to JPEG. Click OK, click Save. Make sure that you've set it to a large file, and click OK. And you'll do this one for both the filter effects one and the regular one. So I'm going to do the border again on this one. Image, image size. Make sure constraint proportions is off. This one is a little wider. Image, canvas size. Add a 0.5. Click OK. And this one, I think I'll fill it with a black on this one. So edit, fill. I do have my background chosen. And I'm going to use black on this one. Okay, and then we'll save it as a JPEG also to turn in. Alright, so if I look at the folder that I've been using to hold this stuff, I've got my two larger files here and then all my JPEGs. So I'll be pulling those, making sure these two Photoshop files are not in the folder that I turn in. Okay, so that is the third and final demonstration for the Name with Pictures assignment. Please ask questions, and if you run into any troubles, please ask questions. Don't just sit there and be lost.